shadows in the dark tales of terror. Deep in the dark forest stood a cottage, overgrown with cobwebs and mysterious shadows. In this cottage lived a little girl named Red Riding Hood, but she wasn't like the one we're used to imagining. In her veins flowed not the blood of an ordinary person, but a dark, cursed, and insatiable thirst. She was a vampire. Every day, when the sun set, Red Riding Hood would emerge from her hiding place to hunt her prey. She pretended to be sweet and innocent, but beneath this mask lurked a ferocious bloodlust ready to consume anyone who crossed her path. One day, as she set off to visit her grandmother, she heard the whisper of the wind, foretelling something sinister. But Red Riding Hood was not afraid, for she herself was part of this darkness. She crept through the thickets and trees, drawing closer to her grandmother's house. When she entered the house, the air was filled with the scent of blood. But it wasn't her grandmother's blood. In the room stood a man, his back turned to her. He seemed bewildered and frightened as Red Riding Hood slowly approached him. "Who are you?" he asked, sensing the impending threat. "I am Red Riding Hood," she replied, smiling her toothy smile. Before the man could say anything else, Red Riding Hood pounced on him, tearing open his neck with her sharp fangs. Blood gushed forth, and she drank it eagerly, relishing every drop, until the man's lifeless body slumped to the floor. Sated and satisfied, Red Riding Hood made her way to her grandmother's bed. She found her sleeping, but that didn't stop her from satisfying her thirst. Again and again, she bit into her, until blood filled her thirsty veins. But suddenly, Red Riding Hood felt something strange, something that made her stop. She looked at her hands and saw that they were covered not with human blood, but with her own. Fear gripped her as she realized that she was not only a vampire, but also human. This fear spread inside her like poison, and she rushed to the window, throwing it open and leaping outside. Now she ran with all her might, until she reached the deepest gorge in the forest, where even the beasts dared not tread. But despite her efforts to escape from herself, the dark essence within her continued to feed on blood, while the human soul suffered from this internal struggle. And so the eternal battle between monster and human unfolded within the depths of her being, leaving only a dead shadow of what was once known as Red Riding Hood.